Hello and welcome to the BSR Simmortal Porsche Cup here at Snetterton, live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Ryan Walker with Mark Barbonet on the cameras tonight. And Ryan, we are here in the lovely county of Norfolk, and this Snetterton circuit, it's a new one to iRacing. It's not a new circuit necessarily in real life. It's a tight, twisty circuit, not easy to get the moves done. And with such a large field, once again in this Carrera Cup field, should be another great day of racing.
Yep, absolutely, Sam. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, viewers. Snetterton is one of those. It's one of those tracks I just love coming to. It's one of those tracks as well that can produce great racing. And tonight, I think with these Porsche Cup cars and this tight field as well, we should be in for an absolute cracker.
Yeah, certainly hope so. We've been, we've seen two fantastic opening rounds to the championship, and in the championship, Nick Madsen has quite a comfortable lead at the moment. He's about 177 points ahead of Kip Stevens currently, with Jamie Ayres in third, Justin Boris fourth, Ronald Moons fifth, and David White rounding out the showdown rounds. Because top six get into the showdown. That'll be the last 3 rounds of the season. And so all the drivers want to qualify for that. It's certainly been a good start for Madsen in particular, with McNally, Blake, Deemer, and Wright still very much in there as well. Could potentially challenge for those positions. But yeah, of course, you've commentated for both of these opening 2 rounds of the championship, Brian. And I think the racing in these Porsche Cup cars, it's been really good. And the format for this championship, again, has also, created a lot of good racing out there. Just got about a minute left of qualifying to go. And you can see Josh Thompson currently on pole position and by 0.6 of a second. Of course, also Ryan, fixed setup in this series. And that means that, these gaps are really representative of the drivers themselves. It's not just about their work outside of the car necessarily. Of course, practice is still very important. But, these times are very representative of what these drivers can do out in the circuit.
Yeah, it's this car. It's not about. It's not all down to the setup. It's also down to the driver as well, by putting in the work, and also it's also being comfortable with this car as well, and that what can help. But I think overall, it's just keeping out of trouble in this series, and just if you can keep out of trouble in this series, especially around the track such as Snetterton, you should be laughing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Max Wright to complete his lap, that very long penultimate corner. And the experience I've got in the Porsche, it's a tough corner that in these cars, because you're leaning so much on that tire and then suddenly changing direction for the final corner as well. Difficult to get the power down. I mean, Dice Mulcher has clearly had a bit of an issue with that bent rear wing. Max Wright did just move up into 11th position. Lee Woodburn, he's going to go into the pits, and apart from that, I think we've just got maybe Chris Wood out on the circuit, still yet to complete his time. And this middle part of the circuit, Ryan, it's not too much of a chance for an overtake. Maybe into this next hairpin, you got half a chance, but very narrow corners, and it's all about the patience, I'd say, through this part of the circuit. It's not quick corners. You don't have to be overly aggressive. It's just keeping the traction zones about correct, and just keeping a nice flow around this part of the circuit.
Yeah, this section here that we're coming through, it's all about just getting into a rhythm and making sure you get a good run out of the corners. It's around this flowing section of the track. If you can do that and stay with the car in front of you, heading onto this back straight. This back straight that we were just looking at. If you can stay right behind someone and get a good run, you can make a move. Possibly try and make a move.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see some fantastic battling down that back straight today. Often get side by side through this couple of corners, which can be absolutely fantastic to watch. I will try to get a track map just to so that I'm not complete. I'm just I'm not repeating corner names one after the other, but here comes Stuart McFadden, currently in second place. Is he going to improve? Well, if he does that, I don't think he is. And just behind was Kip Stevens, I think. There he is. I think he just went off the circuit. Currently second in the championship. 13th on the grid, though. But Kip, very experienced in these types of BSR races. I'm sure he'll be able to make his way up through the field later on. And I think we've just got Anthony Jacobson as well to complete his lap out on circuit. And in fact, he's not going to complete this lap because you can see he's only about halfway around the circuit currently. So in about 5 seconds time, the field will be set and we'll be able to go through the grid for race 1 of the evening. 14 laps, should last for about 20 minutes or so. And yeah, the grid for this opening race of the evening, Josh Thompson on pole position by 0.6 of a second ahead of Stuart McFadden on the front row. Championship leader Nick Madsen starts in third. Chris Wood fourth with Teddy Clark in fifth. And behind that, it's Kern, McNally, Ayres, Jacobson, and Melchett running out the top 10. And the rest of the field will just cycle through for you now. But Josh Thompson, so quick there, Ryan, in qualifying. And I must say, if he can just get a good launch off the line, I'm not sure if we're going to see too much of him in this race. He could put in a very Josh Thompson-esque dominating performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, at the last round at Montreal, he was just absolutely fine. He basically dominated at Montreal, and I think if he gets away with a clean start in race 1, he could be unstoppable, and he could be gone into the distance.
Yeah, we certainly hope the likes of McFadden and Madsen will be able to keep up with him in this opening race. Of course, races 2 and 3 will both be random reverses. That's a bit of a rule change. Race 3 will not be a random reverse. It's just so that drivers don't deliberately, drop to the back of the field or have an advantage almost by losing out in race 1. Many people have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm sure you will get the hang of it after today. Just Nick Madsen actually to get onto the grid now. And Colin Robinson as well, right at the rear of the field. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take the start for this opening race of the evening. And Madsen now is on the grid. And the lights will come on any second now. And round 3 of the championship in the BSR Simmortal Cup will be away.
Oh, great start off the line from Thompson.
Yeah, just had to cover off McFadden a little bit into turn 1, a little bit wide. The pair of them and down the inside there. Was that Chris Wood? I think it was. And actually, after a really good start for Wood, he might just lose out. Round the outside is Nick Madsen. Currently, it's almost 3
Teddy
wide
Clark
here
in the middle. Teddy Clark spun.
Oh, and a big impact as well for a couple of other drivers, and Jim Flanagan's on his roof. These Porsches do that quite easily. And a bit of a chaotic start there. Montreal corner can so often cause a lot of chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that all started with Teddy Clark trying to go 3 wide into turn 1 in the middle with 2 cars with a car on each side, and yeah, he just basically that space he went up into just basically closed, and he had nowhere to go, and it caused a concertina effect.
Yeah, whoever's idea it was to put a hairpin at that turn 2 was not a great idea, because we so often see it. You can understand, it's a big braking zone. It's a very slow corner, and that's always going to happen really down into that corner. Really losing out for that, of course, was Teddy Clark, and you can see the amount of damage on that car. He will get a faster pair, but well, he will just need to stay on the lead couple of laps, and he should be okay for the reverse grid. Should be eligible, but out in the lead. Josh Thompson already 2 seconds ahead of Stuart McFadden, who's under pressure from Chris Wood. And these 2, 3, and 4, even if Thompson does pull away, I'm sure the likes of McFadden, Wood, and Madsen are really going to keep this podium battle alive right to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Thompson just had the perfect start off the line. The only issue he had was where he had to go and defend his line into turn 1. But Yeah, apart from that, Joss has kept out of trouble and he's managed to pull away and build up a bit of a gap.
Yeah, he's a long way clear at the moment. Almost having a look. You can go for a big dive bomb into that second corner, but it is still quite a narrow part of the circuit. If you do go wide, you can quite easily find yourself on the grass. And right now for Chris Wood, he'll just be wanting to beat Nick Madsen. Of course, these drivers trying to get to the showdown. Both McFadden and Wood very much in that challenge still, and Wood is off the circuit. He's on the grass, and he might lose a position here to Nick Madsen. He's on the inside and actually gets a slightly better run, does Madsen. And on the outside, going into this corner, you've got absolutely no chance. And Nick Madsen profits from that mistake up into the top 3.
Yeah, I was just watching the replay. Oh, there's a car spun. That's Lee Dima. Just watching the replay now to see what happened to Dima. Dima just lost it under braking and snapped and the rear end snapped.
Yeah, frustrating for Lee Dima because that's such an easy mistake to do in this Porsche. The rear brakes really are very powerful in this car, and you're constantly trying to just manage that as much as you possibly can. But yeah, that was just a little bit of a mistake from Lee. Maybe still getting used to the car slightly. But these 3 drivers, McFadden and Madsen, Wood, still quite close to one another. Richard Haynes is now off the circuit. He is still up 3 places from his start, but that's not exactly what he needed through that section of corners.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what happened to Richard there, but it looks like he's. Who's this coming out the pits? It's try to look at the replay, but it's
That
not
was
kicking
Teddy Clark, I think, just coming out of the pits. But is he back out? No, he
on.
isn't. No, he's only just got into the pits, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, Chris Wood, it just seemed like under brake and he clipped the grass and just unsettled him a little bit, and it gave as a car off in the background, that is Dennis Melcher.
Melcher a long way away from the circuit there, very close to the scary cheat. Again, some of you will have no idea what I'm talking about, but I hope the majority of you do. And Dennis Melcher losing a couple of positions there, back to where he started. David White up 4 places from his start. Kip Stevens, like I said earlier on, you know, he's an experienced driver, is Kip, and up 6 places from his start into the top 7 now. The top 4 still unmoved from their starting places.
Yeah, Kip Stevens is one of those people. He's not. I hope I don't offend Kip, but he's never been the quickest of people. But he's always kept out of. He's always one of those people that can keep out of trouble, and he's a safe pair of hands. And he's always consistent and gets points for the points finishes, which seems to put him really high up in the series standings.
Has just lost a position though to David White. A bit of a slowdown, I think, for Kip Stevens. We've just cutting one of the corners. It is very easy to do around one of the corners, which name I do not know. I will look at it later on. And Kip seemingly serving that penalty now, but Dennis Melcher, he's going to be very fast. I don't know if we could possibly try to find a replay of Melcher going off at Montreal earlier on in this lap. It lost so many positions. Should still be strong, but here he was. And has he come across or just completely missed the breaking point himself?
Oh, he got hit.
A bit of help.
Oh, he got hit from who was that? Was that?
I think it was David White.
Yeah, it was.
I saw a 7 on the car. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's David White. Yeah, this looks like White just lost under braking and just had nowhere to go but into the back of Melcher.
Yeah, Melcher might be able to exact his revenge later on in this race. But he's not too far behind. But right now, Ronald Moon's up 5 places from his start, looking to get past Kip Stevens and very wide just ahead for White. He's making a few too many mistakes right now, but he can just about get away with that because he gets such a fantastic launch from that difficult traction zone. But they're all a little bit hairy at the moment, I'd say, Ryan. Everyone seems to just be missing an apex here and there. Maybe just getting used to this car track combination in this opening race of the evening.
Yeah, it seems some people are maybe just trying too hard or overdriving the car, and it's just causing them to make silly mistakes. But Yeah, the only person I've seen at the moment that's not making any mistakes is our race leader, Mr. Josh Thompson.
Yeah, absolutely flying away. He is 6 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Still quite close though, with Madsen closing back in on McFadden out there. Here was
Oh.
Michael Blake, and he's disappeared.
Yeah, it looks like he was going for a bit of rallycross.
Wish they had a rallycross. Maybe he could create us one. Anyway, yes, McFadden under pressure from Madsen, but I must say, Ryan, around this circuit, and we saw it in the UV8s yesterday at Summit Point, it is so difficult to go from me when you're so even on pace. This is going to be an extremely tough task for Nick Madsen.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Stuart and Nick at the moment seem to be evenly matched on pace, but I think judging as Nick takes a look up the inside, yeah, these guys seem to be evenly matched on pace at the moment, and I think the only chance that Nick will get by Stuart is if Stuart makes a mistake and Nick's there to pick up the pieces.
Of course, Nick managed to deploy that tactic earlier on against Chris Wood. He can just see getting a little bit detached from these couple now. A little bit wide was that from McFadden, and Nick Madsen is relatively close. I don't know if we could just go on board with him, see how close he can get into the braking zone, because you can see he is closing quite a bit with that safety. And he looks to the inside, does Nick Madsen. Turns into the outside for the next corner. He very nearly went into the back of the driver ahead, struggling for traction on the exit, but he's looking feisty as Nick Madsen, I'd say right now.
Yeah, Nick's being feisty at the moment, and I think it's pretty obvious that he's quicker than Stuart at the moment, but he just can't get by. Yeah, I think if Nick gets a good run on the exit of this corner here, he could get a run on Stu into turn one, but Stuart's got a better exit.
Extremely difficult with the concertina effect coming out of that final corner to get your run into this one, but it's all about getting the run through this turn one, because if you do get it just right, and you can get it just right, you can maybe gain a 10th in terms of your rival. But covering off the move going into Montreal turn 2, and you can see how Chris Wood has got onto the back of these drivers. Madsen's not giving up though. He's looking to the outside once again, and you can do that round this next corner. Round the outside goes Madsen. He's going to try to get the cut back though. Not quite alongside, and McFadden will just go right to the edge of the circuit, defend off his rival. This is dangerous for Madsen, because if he gets pushed off a little bit, Wood will be straight through, and Madsen's all over the place, nearly goes into the back of his rival. Wood had to get onto the brakes, and for now, he'll hold on to P3.
Yeah, that slight mistake from Nick on the exit of the hairpin just it gave Stuart a little bit of a buffer and a bit of a gap. I think Nick's going to have to watch his mirrors, because Chris Wood is right behind him, and it could mean this distraction behind Nick could give Stuart a chance to try and get away.
Yeah, it might just be worth for Wood just stay behind for a little bit, for at least a few corners, and you can see that already Madsen's caught right back up with it, just losing a few car lengths through that section of corners. By the way, David White just had a very poor lap. He's lost about 3 positions, and he just lost another one to Richard Haynes. I think they're currently side by side. So not a good couple of laps for David White whatsoever. He was running as high as 6th position earlier on. Madsen a little bit wide coming out of the final corner. And once again into turn 1, he's not nearly close enough.
Yeah, it seems Nick's a little bit rattled at the moment after that mistake on the previous lap. So yeah, Nick needs to get his head back down in the game and just try and catch back up to Stu and try and get by him for P2. Yeah, we've still got about 18. Chris Wood spun.
Is he going to lose the position here to Jamie Ayres? Ayres is going to go through. What a costly mistake there from Chris Wood. An easy 4th position coming his way, maybe even a podium. He's dropped down to 5th now, just with a slightly clumsy mistake coming out of Montreal. Must be so frustrating for him, but full credit to Jamie Ayres, out 4 positions from his start.
Yeah, I'm just watching the replay now to see what happened to Chris, and he just put too much power down.
couldn't have got back going the right way much quicker. He recovered it pretty well, but the damage had already been done, and now those tires are going to be most likely a little bit overheated as well. Could be a little bit of an issue till the end of this lap, but he's right onto the back of Jamie Ayres already. These two still going at it though. McFadden still holding off Madsen.
Oh, Nick's got the run.
Oh, and Madsen looks to the inside into bomb hole. Not quite though.
Yeah, Nick's seems to be Nick's not hanging around anymore. You can tell that Stuart's slower than him in some places, and then it seems to be as we get onto this last sector or the home straight, Stuart seems to be quicker than Nick. So yeah, it seems to be both drivers have got advantages in some places and advantages in some places over each other.
Oh, Madsen really tried to sacrifice a little bit of the first apex of turn 1 to get a really nice straight line coming through the second part, but didn't quite work his way. And yeah, you can see he's just not quite as close as he was a couple of laps previous. And it's going to surely take a mistake now from Madsen in this second half of the race if he's going to make his way past. Very close between Melcher and White, and White's is just falling down the field a little bit. He's dropped behind Richard Haynes, who's off the circuit himself now. Very lucky not to hit the wall, but yeah, Haynes gains a position and then loses 2.
Yeah, Haynes, I thought he was heading for the wall there for a minute, the speed that he went off, but yeah, nice avoidance of the wall from Richard. Fair play.
Yeah, you can just see David White going a little bit slowly ahead. It's a fantastic queue of cars currently, and actually Melcher's really close to Danes, and Danes down the inside. An opportunistic move here from Chris Danes, and he might just make it, and that's a very nice move there from Chris Danes. Up 13 places from his start. He might be able to get a couple more until the end of this race, and that was a very opportunistic move there, Ryan.
Yeah, that was very, very up to, I can't say it. Yeah, it was a nice move by nice move by Chris there. He's seen a gap that was open there, and he dived up the inside, and luckily Dennis managed to see him going for the move and left just enough space.
Here comes Danes again into the penultimate corner. That's not a move that you usually go for, but he's got so much more confidence than these other drivers. Just a shame that he did not take part in qualifying, but maybe for the reverse grid later on, he could be a real threat for a race victory. Super close now between Madsen. He's closer than he's been for a lap or so. Got to within about 0.2 of a second, but through this part of the circuit, you just feel as though McFadden, you won't care about how much time he loses due to defense. He'll just be carrying that car behind, stays behind him till the end of this race. And right now he's doing that absolutely superbly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking up to the gap to Josh Thompson, and he's managed to build up a gap of 12 seconds, which is just absolutely unreal.
Yeah, quite incredible. He's consistently lapping a second a lap faster than everyone else out on circuit.
Just watching the replay, and Jamie Ayres spun, and just he's lost a couple of positions.
Had moved up into 4th position, had Jamie Ayres, but he's now back into 6th behind Max Wright, who we haven't not seen through this entire race. Kip Stevens has been overtaken by Chris Danes then, so Danes, that's not a huge surprise because he's been absolutely on a mission in these past few laps as Chris Danes, but Kip Stevens does lose a place now. He feels like he's a little bit slower than Moons. So far, Moonsley has not come close to an overtake from what I've seen. He's going to try to change that in these next few corners.
Yeah, absolutely. Moons is having to defend from Melcher and David White as well. So, yeah, it looks like Moons just needs to watch himself. If he just needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, otherwise he'll lose a couple of positions possibly to he might lose a position or even 2 positions to Melcher and White.
Yeah, we know how quick Melcher and White are. They've just made a couple of mistakes, unfortunately, today, which have really cost them. And you can see Richard Haynes not too far behind either. running in 12th place currently, and also Anthony Jacobson just at the rear of that shot. This
Yep,
time into Montreal. Sorry.
No, I thought. Oh, sorry, I thought I was going to cough there. My bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nothing in the end did happen at Montreal. And yeah, so staying line astern. Also, Madsen's just dropped off a little bit of McFadden, about a second between the pair of them now. And so maybe that chase could just be over. The straw maybe just breaking Nick Madsen's very sturdy back so far in this race.
yeah, I wonder if Nick's decided just to back off a little bit or ease off the pace a little bit and try and look after his tires for maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes, and then just if his tires are fine, if he's still got some grip left, he could possibly try and push and try and make Stuart crack into a mistake.
Yeah, you could certainly have that mindset currently. You doubt he'd give up in this first race. Not got too much to lose as Nick Madsen. Of course, will be a reverse grid after this for race 2. A random reverse grid. Could be anything between 5 and a full grid. And currently, looking at the standings, there are some 19 drivers eligible for that reverse grid. So that could be a very interesting starting grid for race 2.
Yeah,
Right now,
Moon's got a run on Stevens.
yeah, right now, Kip Stevens will only care about 8th position because Nolan Means, who has been right on his tail for this entire race, he's got closer and closer. But once again, that run through turn 1, not quite good enough. David White's looking to the inside of Dennis Melcher, and you can see how just a little bit later on the brakes can help you so much into that second corner.
Yeah, I was just going to say I was looking at Melcher and White there, and I was about to say that White went for a gap, but wasn't there. Or I was a bit of a Melcher's getting a bit feisty.
He hasn't covered it off though, and here comes David White down the inside. Not quite. I thought there was a real opportunity because Melcher initially fended it off, but actually didn't defend going into the corner. And now, despite making a mistake going off the circuit a couple of laps ago, Richard Haynes is right back into this fight. We have got this 5-car train once again. Kip Stevens has been not necessarily the fastest driver so far, but boy has he defended with all his might. And heading down this back straight, Melcher looks like the most likely to go for a move. He's only 0.2 of a second behind Ronald Moons. Will he go for a move at the end of this straight? I don't think he's going to be close enough.
Yeah, I'm just watching Stevens at the moment. He's having a good race so far, and down in PA at the moment. He's not the quickest, but he's just doing his thing, just hitting his marks as well, and he's doing a good defensive job. He's not being flustered or anything. He's just doing his own thing, and he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, absolutely. An 8th place for Kip Stevens would be a fantastic result considering his qualifying performance. This race, I don't want to say it's dragging on, but it's slightly longer than I thought it would be. It's supposed to be 20 minutes, and oh yeah, to be fair, this is going to be about 25 minutes, I think, by the end of this race, which just means more action for us, which is always good. Kip Stevens, well, he's so good to that turn 1. It's pretty much fending off any attack from Moons. He just cannot get close to that first corner. He's decent everywhere else in the lap round, but that first corner from Arnold Moons just seems to be spoiling his attack.
Yeah, Kip seems to be getting a good run through turn 1, and yeah, also he's getting a good exit on the exit of he's getting a good run in the exit of the hairpin, I should say, and it's kind of he's pulling away from a little bit from Ronald, and it's just he's keeping Ronald on the rest of this pack at bay at the moment.
He's just about doing enough. Right now, David White's looking for an overtake. Absolutely every corner, it seems. And he's doing a few too many half moves. Driver seating? What? Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. But basically, I'm telling him what to do when I don't know what I'm talking about. But David White, I'm sure he will get it just right in these closing stages. But yeah, he needs to really commit to one of these moves. and try not to lose too much time either. Once again, this 5 just bunching up together as this lap goes on, and they stretch out a little bit around the Montreal hairpin.
Yeah, as we look up to the battle back up to the front between Stuart McFadden and Nick Madsen, yeah, Nick's right behind Stuart again, and I think Nick might have used my tactic or theory of backing off and looking after the tyres, and he's got a switch back on Stuart. He's up the inside.
Brilliant run there from Nick Madsen, and there's nothing McFadden can do, surely. They're both equal on the brakes, and Madsen will go down the inside and surely claim that second place. He dropped down to 4th in the opening stages, but he's back up into the top 2, but round the outside,
Stuart's trying to go round the outside.
There is Stuart McFadden, but finally, Madsen seems to have consolidated that second place.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move. That all started on the exit of turn 1 and then on the exit of the hairpin. And yeah, Nick just set that move up perfectly. And yeah, he managed to get that switchback cutback or switchback or whatever you call it, and just slip up the inside of Stuart up the inside of Stuart and made the move stick. And yeah, he's trying to get away from Stuart, but Stuart's not giving up.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be putting a lot of pressure on in this final 1.5 laps. But it's not looking like it's going to be enough. You can already see Madsen pulling out about half a second, really close between Ayres and Danes, who has somehow been able to fight his way all the way up into 7th from 22nd on the grid. And it's looking like he could maybe even get a 6th. Max Wright isn't too far up the road either, actually, but I don't think he's going to quite catch up to him. We've seen Danes make moves all over this circuit. I would not even bet against him maybe going for a move into the final corner, but this is the battle we've been following mostly through this race. Stevens just establishing a little bit of a lead. This is more comfortable than he's been in the past. But yeah, once again, we come back to Ayres and Danes battle. Danes, which way will he go? He wants to go to the inside. He desperately wants to go to the inside. He can't do it though, because there's a wall there instead. And he's going to have to try to get the cutback into turn 2, and it's quite some comeback there. Surely going to have to go defensive, maybe? No. Dane's not confident enough on the brakes. He's going to have to make the move somewhere else.
Yeah, that was good defensive driving by Jamie. He managed to hold Chris back on the home straight and down into the hairpin. And yeah, Jamie's doing a good defensive job at the moment. He's defending hard but fair, but I think it's all a matter of time possibly before Chris gets by him.
Well, he hasn't got too much time remaining, unfortunately, with the checker flag coming out at the end of this lap. You can see the difference in track position between 2nd and 5th, and down the inside goes Stuart McFadden, and he's all over the place. Nick Madsen, though, safe from that attack. McFadden's not going to be able to get a good enough cutback going into the final couple of corners. Thompson's off the track. He won't care. There's a car spun. Again, Thompson won't care because he's going to take a dominant victory. He's going to be 18 seconds clear by the checkered flag. And he has won race 1 here at Snetterton. Having to go defensive is Madsen into the final corner. He's just about done enough. What a duel these two have had, Madsen and McFadden. And it's going to be Madsen taking home that 2nd place.
Yeah, that was an awesome battle between Madsen and McFadden. That was just it was hard to tell who was going to finish second and 3rd, but yeah, fair play. Jesus, I was watching Danger trying to make a move on Ayres, but yeah, that made me clench.
That was so close, wasn't it? Would have been a crazy move from Chris Danes in the end. He finishes in 7th position. Moons isn't going to get Stevens. I don't know how he hasn't got Stevens, because I'm pretty sure he was within about half a second for that entire race. But he's not going to quite claim that 8th place, so a good recovery from 13th on the grid. Sorry, 14th on the grid for Moons, with these remaining drivers just crossing the line right now. Of course, we were hoping not for a Josh Thompson masterclass there, Ryan, but at least in these next 2 races, going to be reverse grids, going to be a lot more difficult for him. And we saw overtaking so difficult out there. It's not going to be easy for those fast drivers to make their way up through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. With the I'll say it again, get your words out, Ryan. Yeah, the reverse grids. It'll make it interesting with some of the quick guys being at the back and some of the not so quick guys up at the front. So yeah, it'll make for interesting watching.
Yeah, and I think we can now take you through the final results in this race. One was with Josh Thompson taking away the race victory. It was comfortable in the end. 16.5 seconds clear of Nick Madsen, who just about beat Stuart McFadden. Hopefully that battle will resume in race 2. Chris Wood, 4th place, and he'll be pretty pleased with 4th place because after a spin by himself at one point, he was down into 6th but recovers well. Max Wright a further 10 seconds behind. Jamie S finishes in 6th with Chris Daines, started in 22nd place. He'll be very happy with that recovery. Kip Stevens, he was 50 seconds behind by the end of that race. Quite a hefty margin. But he'll still be happy to claim 8th place. Roland Means just behind him in 9th with Dennis Marcher. In 10th behind that, it was Haynes, Jacobson, White, Hepherd, Deemer, Cullinan, Woodburn, Blake, and Banayuchek. I was told how to pronounce that. I've completely forgotten. He was in 19th place. And more importantly, Ronald will be the last eligible driver for the reverse grid. So you might even see him on pole position. We'll go on the wheel in a second. But Teddy Clark, Ferenc Kern, I did get that one right, in 21st. Alan McNally, 22nd. Jim Flanagan, 23rd. And Colin Robinson did not take the start. And Marco, it's the best part of the evening. Well, we get to do this twice now, which is absolutely superb. But right now, it's the first reverse grid of the day.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the best part of the evening. The wheel should be on your screens right now, so let's roll it. It's a 25 reverse, 2-5.
25, so that's a full reverse. So, oh no, I'm going to have to pronounce his name again. How do you pronounce it again, Marco?
It should be Van Utrecht.
Van Uytrecht. Okay, Van Uytrecht. Okay, cool. He will be on pole position with Michael Blake alongside him on the front row. It should be a superb race to this evening. Do not miss it. We'll be back with you in about 20 minutes' time. Race 2 here at Snetterton.
I can't stop.
Welcome back to the BSR Porsche Simmortal Cup, race 2 of the evening here at Snetterton. Josh Thompson took race 1, but for this one, it's Ronald Baniucek on pole position with Michael Blake joining him on the front row, with Lee Woodburn and Rafe Cullinan on the second row, and Lee Demon rounding out the top 5. Just got a couple more just to get onto the grid, but a quick word from Ryan Madsen. Ryan Walker, apologies. I don't know why, because I saw Nick Madsen's name pop up. Anyway, we are about to get going, and thank God to save my blushes. Ronald is about to get away from pole position, and the green flag is out, and away we go, and it's not a good start there for the pole sitter, and Michael Blake will immediately take the race lead. Going into turn 1, that's the perfect start for the number 44 car, and leaving everyone else behind. A big impact though, and that's going to involve a lot of cars. I saw Dennis Melchuk go off, along with a couple of others, and Nick Madsen actually involved in that one as well. You can see right to the rear of the field. Also, Ronald Moons as well gets involved in that one. Kip Stevens not getting a good start. It's still all going on in this middle part of the circuit. And Ryan Walker, that was quite a chaotic start once again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was mayhem in turn 1. It just seemed, excuse me, it just seemed that as if there was a couple of cars that had contact, and yeah, a couple of cars had contact, and yeah, it just caused the concertina effect, and yeah, a mayhem erupted.
It's still going on in another car round.
Who was that? That was Chris Wood.
Yeah, Chris Wood round. So both Wood and Madsen, 2 of the top 4 in race 1, right to the rear of the field early on. It does mean that Josh Thompson is up 11 positions already. It's quite an incredible start for him. Baniucek already dropping down into 5th place, and he's going to be under pressure from Rafe Cullinan, who's looking to the inside at the end of the back straight. There are a couple more moves just going on behind. That's Josh Thompson now going through as well. He's just got to make sure that he doesn't get involved in collision.
Car with 2 wheels in the background.
Possible.
Oh, that was crazy.
Was that Stuart McFadden just getting a little bit of contact?
I'm not sure. I just seen a car in the background on 2 wheels on the exit. It was like just, that was mayhem.
Absolutely. Oh, and also Baselide car is clearly getting a slowdown. I think that's Baniucek again, and he's round, and he was not putting the throttle down whatsoever. And I think that spin, not deserved necessarily. You can certainly see why that happened. Already Madsen and Wood back onto the rear of this field. And it's still going on with Thompson moving through it side by side just ahead. Hefford versus Demon. Thompson might even try to go past Lee Demon right now. Hefford making that move up into the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Good start by Hefford, but an absolutely fantastic start by Josh Thompson. He's gained 14 places within the first 2 laps.
I always commend Josh Thompson's racecraft, and it looks as though he's going to put another move on here down the entire Lee Demon. That's how much confidence he's got on the brakes, and he will go a little bit wide. He will be absolutely fine, though, from the attack from Dima. Oh, and a car around.
In the background.
Not sure who that was. With Cullinan round, so he was running in the top 6, but he's now to the rear of the field.
Yeah, it's all kicking off in the early stages as Teddy Clark takes a rallycross route in the grass.
It's absolute chaos towards that back of the field. On our live timing, if it's really close, the numbers go like bright red, and about 10 cars have got bright red numbers right now. Hefford loses out to Thompson, who's up into 2nd position because Lee Woodburn has just made a mistake, and so Thompson's up 17 places. He's only got Michael Blake to pass, and he'll be into the race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an absolutely fantastic start by Josh. 17 places gained, and within 17 places gained in the early stages of this race, and we're not even, Christ, we're not even at the halfway stage yet.
Oh, another car off. It's Jamie. No, it's not. It's Lee Dima who's off. And it's quite incredible how you can hit the wall, but trust me, I've done it a few times because it's a very difficult final corner. And Lee Dima, he now falls through the field. I swear, half the pack have had big spins. Lee Woodburn losing out to Stuart McFadden. He's up 12 places. Not a bad start whatsoever for McFadden either. And another podium is looking very possible right now for him.
Yeah, it's a good start by Stuart McFadden as well. He's how many places he gained? He's gained 12 places at the moment, and yeah, he's had a good start to this race so far, and I think he'll be up in the top 3 in no time.
Yeah, that's looking very possible. Only 1.6 seconds separate the top two, and on that last lap, Thompson was nearly 2 seconds faster. So I think I know which way this one's going to go. Josh Thompson, absolutely superb. Maybe a little bit fortunate on that first lap not to be caught up in a collision like Nick Madsen was, but you still got to give him a lot of credit. And here was the race start was an awful start from Vanajicek, but an awesome start from Blake. It was from Nick Madsen how he got involved in a collision.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Nick got caught up in it. I guess he just had nowhere to go, but we'll see in a moment as he goes up the inside of. He goes up the circuit. I'm not sure that is on the left. Yeah, contact from behind.
Yeah, there's a bit of contact just ahead as well. So he was pretty much, it was a Madsen sandwich there. He was always going to get involved in collision one way or another. He has already recovered though, back up into the top 12 as Madsen. That's 7 places up from where he started. And so could still be a decent result for him. He'll want to certainly be eligible for that reverse grid for race 3. Here's the fight for the lead though. And it's already only 0.4 of a second between the pair there. Michael Blake, what can he do in retaliation to this? It seems like a bit of a done deal, and you know he's not yet gone for an attempt. It's just got such a pace advantage as Josh Thompson on that last lap, nearly 2 seconds faster once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh is just. I was talking about this with the Chaz last week at Montreal. We were talking about Josh Thompson and how he seems to be so quick in anything that he jumps into. He's just. I don't know what he takes, what he has for breakfast, but give me whatever he has because he's just so. Any car he jumps into, he's always quick and he's always up at the front, winning races.
Yeah, and certainly I get the
Blake
sense that he can... Oh, Blake is wide, and that's going to be the race lead gone. And it might even be second place gone as well, because you can see how much time he's lost out there. And often it's tempting just to go on the grass. You can think, oh, I'm just going to lose a second, maybe if I go a bit wide. But he's lost a whole lot more than a second there, because it drags you out, does that grass, and can cost you upwards of 3 or 4. And that's what it's cost him here. And he's under pressure from Steve Heffer, but fortunate for him, he's not going to be attacked under the bridge this time round, although still Blake is really close with Danes getting involved, and we saw how quick Chris Danes was in the first race. Hasn't quite, well, he's gained 9 positions, so that's not bad from Danes, and he likes that overtake as well into the penultimate corner, and he's surely going to make that move up into the podium places now as Chris Danes.
Yeah, nice move by Chris. He snuck up the inside of Hefford, and he seemed to make Hefford go offline a little bit, or make him jump out the way. But nevertheless, that was a good move by Chris, and he's right up behind Michael Blake now. Oh, is Blake run wide?
And once again, it's that grass which sucks you out from the circuit. And once again, that's lost him a couple more positions. Goes from 1st to 5th in about half a lap, does Michael Blake. Not what he wanted whatsoever. Very close between Madsen and Kern. You can see them just going through the hairpin right now. And Madsen now ahead of Kern. So Madsen up into the top 7 of Kern. It's up 13 places. Good effort there, Brent. And yeah, has not got involved in any collisions. And this would be a very nice top 8 if he can hang on to it.
Yeah, it's been a good start by him so far. Is Madsen runs wide? Yeah, it's been a good start by Ferenc. Apologies if I screwed that name up again.
Ferenc,
that's it.
We've got to do this.
Shoot me. Yeah, it's been a good start by him so far. He's gained 10 places. No, not 10 places. I'm looking at the wrong position. 14 places, and yeah, he's doing a good job in P7 at the moment.
Yeah, Madsen will be absolutely kicking himself because he can't afford to waste any time. He needs to try to get as far up the field as he possibly can. And where he goes for a move down the inside goes Nick Madsen, turns into the outside for the next one, but he's already clear. A little bit wide potentially for Madsen, but he just used the curb to his advantage. And he'll be on his way trying to get next up Jamie Ayres, 4.5 seconds up the road. Looking very possible for Madsen to maybe get a top certainly a top 5 is very possible. Any further than that's going to be tough, even for a driver of Nick's caliber.
Yeah, I'm just watching through the field as well. I'm watching Terry Clark at the moment. He's right behind Max Wright, and he's challenging Max at the moment for P10 at the moment. And yeah, a good run by Teddy so far.
Fantastic line of cars here. So many different, you know, lots of different. I don't even know how to pronounce it now. But there's some quick guys in amongst these packs and some slower guys as well. That's the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, these quick guys, even at this midpoint in the race, trying to make their way through the field. There's Melcher, one of them. He was involved in the turn 1 instant, and he's going to go around the outside here of Lee Woodburn, who remember was in the top 3 at one point on that opening lap, but he's falling down the field now. They're still side by side, getting boxed in just behind as Kip Stevens got involved, and Kip Stevens is round.
Yeah, that was a bit optimistic by Kip there. Kip, sorry. He just tried to go for a gap that it didn't really exist, and yeah, he just it looks like he just locked the rear brakes on the rear and just looked around.
Yeah, clearly something's happened to Kip earlier on in the race as well for him to be that far down the field. We'd expect him to be at least in the top 10 at this point. Teddy Clark just going past Max right there. So, and way off the circuit. He's going to cut the circuit, and believe it or not, that's a slowdown for him. And he's going to lose that position once again.
Yep, good to see Teddy making a move, and yeah, he's up to P10 at the moment, and hopefully he can try and get after Anthony Jacobson, who's not too far ahead. So yeah, Teddy's having a good run at the moment, and hopefully he can keep up for the rest of the race.
Yeah, the Youth Energy driver driving very well currently. Once again, this one erupting again. Wood, of course, fell back to the rear of the field. He must have had another instance since then, because he has not made nearly the same progress as Nick Madsen has, and a relatively similar track position at one point in the race, but has now made that move on Ronald Moons, who was so quick in the first race, but just got stuck behind Kip Stevens. He's not got that issue, but unfortunately, he's still in 15th position. Currently, Adam McNally being a disappointing day for him so far as well. He's in 16th place after starting pretty much from dead last.
Excuse me. Yeah, he's doing pretty well at the moment, and he's getting through the field slowly. But it's a good recovery so far. And yeah, how much time we got left? 7 minutes, I believe. So yeah, he's still got time to hopefully try and gain some more positions.
Yeah, he might just be able to, gain a couple more positions from where he is at the moment. Woodburn really slow, and he's clearly got a slowdown just a couple of corners beforehand. I don't even know what it's called, and even if I did say what corner it was called, you probably wouldn't know which one it was, as Lee Woodburn just goes across the circuit. And, well, I think he's just about fed up there with Lee Woodburn. After going so high up earlier on, he, has just been falling down the field, made a few too many mistakes. Lee, he's now into the pits and got the tape back.
Yep,
so,
oops, sorry.
So I was just going to say Madsen ahead of Ayres. I did not notice that. And, up into P6.
Yeah, it's a good recovery drive from Nick so far at the moment. I think, after being caught up in the mayhem in turn 1, he's managed to get his head down back and get back into the game. And yeah, it's a good recovery drive from Nick so far up into P6.
Yeah, and would be incredibly unlucky not to be involved in the reverse grid. I think it's a wheel. I'm not even sure. I'll have to ask Marco later on. Marco, have we got confirmation that it is a random reverse for race 3?
If it's the same as the... Hello everyone, once again. If it is the same as the previous meeting we had last week, yes, it should be like that.
Ah, okay, I thought it was a new rule for this meeting. I wasn't here last week, so I was wrong and have just embarrassed myself. But yeah, will be a random reverse for race 3 of the evening. And yeah, that will certainly be a bit of a challenge for Josh Thompson. If this one wasn't already, now starting in 19th place, he has made absolute mincemeat with Ronald Moons there, yeah, dropping down the field. That was earlier on this lap. And he's back behind Kip Stevens. That's not what he wanted.
I'm just looking back up towards the mid-pack of the field as Melchur's got sideways, but yeah, good battle between Chris Wood and Dennis Melcher at the moment, who are also, of course, teammates for Team Mad. So I wonder if there'll be any team orders. Oh, as Teddy Clark gets sideways on the exit of the final corner.
Oh, Danes is past McFadden. That was defense from Danes. He might not be able to defend much longer though, because Stuart McFadden, who was so unlucky to miss out on second position in race 1, well, he's up into second position now, and this would be a second really good result for him. But trying to come back is Danes. He's down the inside, but he's missed the corner, and McFadden there has done superbly to dodge him. A mistake there from Danes, and McFadden had to be very aware of his peripheral vision there to avoid the car on the inside.
Yeah, I would love to see a replay of that just to see how it unfolded. But yeah, Stuart was a lucky boy not to get collected by Chris. As Nick Madsen spins.
Yeah, this was earlier on in the lap, and that must have been a costly mistake there from Nick Madsen. Here it was from Danes. He was desperate to try to come back, wanted to find the inside line, there wasn't, and boy, that was lucky not to take out those two judges. And of course, if you get wheel damage in these cars, then that's very costly. Kern, oh dear! Ferenc was having such a superb run. He'd managed to catch up to the back of Teddy Clark, I think, on the last lap, but he's dropped down now. I think that was Clark just ahead of him, and he, well, I think Kern there just was shocked by where the driver had brakes. I'm not quite sure. Jamie, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just I would like to see another replay of that if possible. But, I'm not sure if he got caught out under braking, or just maybe Jamie braked a bit early. Yeah, this looks like Ferenc just carried too much speed.
Yeah, I think he would have still made the corner, but it's yeah, quite a difference there, because they weren't that close either, but maybe just the momentum of the previous corner just a bit too much there for Ferenc. And yeah, he drops to the back once again. Dennis Melcher, he's found himself up into P11 again, so I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, he's just managed to stay out of trouble with Chris Wood only just ahead. Adam McKnight trying to make that move, struggling a little bit today, seemingly is Adam, one of the front runners previously in the last couple of rounds, but today, after a disappointing race 1, struggling to get the results he wanted. But he's going to have a go here, round the outside.
Yeah, he's trying to get the cut back on Dennis. Can he do it?
Or he might be able to look to the inside. It would be a very late move into this next kink, which is not really an overtaking chance. Melcher going defensive, and of course, if you go defensive round this part of the circuit, it is so difficult to make the overtake for the driver behind, because it's so now almost like a street circuit around this part of the course. But once again, he's super close, and this is where the track widens out a little bit. McNally to the outside down this back straight, and he will just move his nose just ahead. Momentarily take that position. But Melcher's not going to give up on this one. Down the outside goes Adam McNally, and he surely made that move now.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Adam McNally. He managed to... That all started on the entry of the back straight, and he managed to stay on the outside of Melcher and stay on the outside of Melcher into what's then turned into the inside, and yeah, he managed to make the move, and yeah, nice move by Adam McNally, and hopefully he can try and catch Chris Wood for P10.
Yeah, well, Wood is a very quick driver, so I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but maybe just pick up from mistakes up ahead, and that could be an opportunity for him to come back later on. Melcher already a little bit under pressure from, Kern. Oh, I'm getting confused. Kern trying to pressure Melcher. I don't know what I was looking at there. but he is right on the tail once again. You can see Stevens, he's just behind. That's what I was getting confused about. And actually doing pretty good job is Kip, considering his mistakes earlier on in this race.
Yeah, I'm just looking back up to the front, to our
Oh
leader.
wow!
Oh, McFadden spun.
Well, he's seemingly thrown away a second position. He needs to go and throw away a podium because Steve Hefford was getting very, very close there. And completely by himself. Very clumsy mistake there, Ryan, from an experienced driver in Stuart McFadden.
Yeah, I think I'm just watching Stuart's onboard, and it looks like he maybe tried to get back on the. Maybe he just carried too much, or used too much power rather, and spun round as Josh Thompson crosses the line to take the winning race too.
Yeah, we can't forget about Josh in that race. That was certainly a little bit shorter than the first race, but it doesn't change the result. He was 14 seconds clear by the end. Chris Daines is going to get second place. Good job from Chris. Stuart McFadden's going to gain 14 places from his start. He'd usually be happy with that, but he's absolutely thrown away a second position now. Certainly he'll think of it as that way because that was a clumsy mistake with only half a lap to go. And these other drivers just coming through. Max Ray finishing in 9th position, seemingly just ahead of Chris Wood. Hopefully those guys will be in the reverse grid. It's still going on. So many close battles down the field. And Kern, well, he'll be kicking himself. A top 5 was possible out there today, but unfortunately that mistake, he's ended up in 13th place with these drivers still yet to complete their final lap. But once again, we saw a chaotic first lap there, Ryan, and the one driver he didn't get involved in any of that was Josh Thompson, and once he gained 11 places on that first lap, obviously it was still difficult to convert that race victory, but he just looks so assured out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I'm not sure what Josh has for breakfast or whatever pills he takes, but yeah, it seems to keep him out of trouble, and yeah, he just managed to avoid the mayhem and get to the front and pull away and build up a gap and managed to stay in P1 right until the end of the race and take another dominant victory. So yeah, it's a good evening for Josh so far, and that'll help him in the championship for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly ought to qualify for the showdown, but it's also going to give him some bonus points, which, are always helpful to claim. And yeah, he will get some bonus points for his race 1 victory. Just looking at that time, 20.7 minutes, and it was a 20-minute race. So well done, Josh. That was pretty much identical to the exact race time. Chris Daines finishes in 2nd place. Good drive from him from 13th on the grid. Stuart McFadden also started outside the top 10. In 17th, he ends up in 3rd. Steve Hefford finishes in 4th with Michael Blake. We did not talk about him too much, or Hefford, to be fair, but good drives from both of them in 4th and 5th. Teddy Clark finishes in 6th. Nick Madsen, he'll be very frustrated with himself. Of course, spinning on the first corner was not his fault, but a spin cost him a couple of positions potentially late on. He ends up in 7th. Anthony Jacobson, fantastic performance from Anthony in 8th. Really well done to him. Max Wright finishes in 9th, and Chris Wood in 10th. Behind that, it was Adam McNally, Dennis Melcher, Ferenc Kern, Kip Stevens, Jamie Ayres, Jim Flanagan, Ronald Moons, Ronald Van Uchek, Richard Haynes, Lee Woodburn, Reef Cullinan, Lee Deemer, and David White in 23rd position. And Marco, it's the joint best part of the broadcast. It's the second spin the wheel.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, this third race, don't forget 35 minutes mandatory pit stop, very narrow pit lane, so having track position will be very important. But of course, here comes the wheel on your screen, so let's roll it. Well, 50, so once again a full reverse.
Yep. 19th place was Richard Haynes. He was the last eligible driver, and he will be on pole position there. Ronald Van Uytje starts in on pole position for the first race. For the second race. Starts second for the third race. So he'll be very pleased, certainly getting the fortune of the wheel. And Ronald Means in third, and Jim Flanagan in fourth. Josh Thompson will be starting in 19th position once again for race 3 of the evening. That was a fantastic race too. Do not miss it. 35 minutes in length, like Marcus said, mandatory pit stop for race 3, and that will be with you in about 20 minutes time. See you then.
Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to the BSR Simmortal Porsche Cup. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Ryan Walker with Marco Bubner on the cameras. And we're here for race 3 of the evening at round 3 of the season at Snetterton. And on pole position for this race 3 is Richard Haynes, ahead of Ronald Vaniuchek in second. Then it's Model Moons, Jim Flanagan, and Jamie Ayres rounding out the top 5. Just got a couple more cars to start off, but Josh Thompson in those first couple of races, winning both of the first 2 races. Ryan, will he be able to do it again from 19th on the grid?
I'm not sure. I mean, it'll be a tough job. It'll be a tough job for Josh at the back, but it's Josh has started at the back in race 2 and he managed to come through and win. So, yeah, you never know. Never say never. But if Josh keeps out of trouble, then he'll be right up there as the green lights are off.
Very chaotic start, and actually maybe a change of the lead. But actually leading away is Richard Haynes. He's got a decent start, but down the inside was Jamie Ayres. What a start there from Ayres, from 4th on the grid, and a massive collision at the rear of the field. I think that calls for... Oh, I don't know if does this call for a safety car? I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure if
I think we'll keep it going for now. I do have that power, and I have been told I can use it. Oh, there's lots of pressure. Oh dear. But I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't think that calls for an incident, but that was a massive collision, right? Don't know if we could get a replay of that, but it's taken out a whole lot of cars in that first few corners.
Yeah, that was absolute that was absolute mayhem in turn 1. It just one bit of contact between a couple of cars again, and it just caused a concertina effect and caused mayhem. As Josh Thompson's gained 11 places and he's up to P8 already.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but he always seems to avoid those collisions. And already Josh Thompson, yeah, like you said, up 12 positions, up into the top 7. Chris Daines is only just behind Michael Blake. No, he's not behind. He's just moved through. And that's another position gain. Josh Thompson, is he just off the circuit there? Yes, he is. He's just behind Chris Daines. A bit clumsy there from Thompson. And actually maybe losing another position here to Michael Blake as well. But Thompson will just about hang on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh we look at a replay of the start into turn 1.
Yeah, that was Stevens, I think, just making contact with Vaniuchek.
Yeah, there was a couple of Stuart McFadden was in there, Steve Hefford was in there. There was a few other cars as well. Anthony Jacobson as well.
Really early on the brakes there for Ronald, and seemingly wanted to avoid any collisions. As you can see, that did not succeed.
Yeah, that was a bit... Sorry, I'll probably sound harsh for saying it, but that was a bit silly from Ronald braking way early before turn 1. That was some of the blame has to go down to him for causing that incident.
Yeah, I think so. When you've got such a slow car, when it's that packed up, it is very difficult for everyone else. It was Rafe Cullinan making a mistake, and, well, put under a bit of pressure, locked up the brakes because he realised he wasn't going to make the corner. Yeah, that's a few costly positions lost there for Rafe.
Yeah, I'm just looking up towards the field, the field back up at the front as well. Adam McNally's up into P5 at the moment, and he's starting to hound Jim Flanagan. So yeah, if Adam can get a good run on the straight, he could possibly gain another position and move up into P4.
Nick Madsen recovering well. He's in 12th position now. I don't think he's going to be able to fight for the race win, unfortunately. Unlike Josh Thompson, I think he's not that far behind. Here is Flanagan still having to fend off McNally.
McNally's got the switch
turn only just behind him. McNally nearly got a very good run going into bomb hole now. And just got a couple more corners to go. Coram coming up. And I think it's Murray's the final corner. Of course, no real passing opportunities into this one unless you're really crazy. But these guys aren't far behind Model Moons either. Out in the lead is Richard Haynes, pulling away 1.4 seconds clear now from Jamie Ayres. He's having a very good race from 5th on the grid. But any of these guys could really win this race. I think it's a really looking very competitive field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just watching Josh Thompson in P8. He's right behind Kern, so he might be able to make a move into this hairpin. Indeed he does. He makes a move up into P7.
Very nicely done there from Josh Thompson. He's only got a few more positions to gain. Chris Danes, haven't we spoken about him too much? He's up 12 places so far. What a start. Here is maybe going down the inside though. Is that Jim Flanagan pass? Ronald Moons, are they going to make contact? Yes, they are. And round they go. Thompson just about missed that. So too did Danes and McNally. McNally's up into the top 3. But Ronald Moons right down into 13th. And it's going to be even lower in a few seconds' time.
Yeah, I think it was I never had the chance to see what happened, but it looked like possibly Flanagan just went up for a move up the inside and maybe locked up and caused contact. Oh, contact between McFadden and Madsen.
Yeah, that seems a little bit harsh there from McFadden, and he has actually apologised for that and let Madsen pass. So he just shoved him off the circuit there. I don't think he realised he was quite there, but very gentlemanly in the end from Stuart there, dropping down into 12th place. Does
Indeed.
mean so.
I was just going to say, I'm looking back up at the front, and yeah, it's getting close between Adam McNally in P3, Chris Danes P4, and Josh Thompson in P5, and Thompson's trying to go for a move. Oh, gee, I thought he was going to lunge up the inside there.
Would have been very aggressive. Of course, all these drivers starting on the same fuel loads, fixed setups in this series, and so yeah, they're not going to be able to go much further. It's all about when you feel like pitting, they're all going to have to put the same amount of fuel in, obviously. And Danes having to defend against Thompson. He feels as though he can maybe win this race, can Danes, if he can hold back the Radicals Online driver.
Oh, contact.
And down the inside,
Contact
Thompson,
again.
they make contact. He has made it eventually. There wasn't really anything Thompson did wrong there, although I think Danes disagrees a bit.
Yeah, but Danes was just flashing his lights and frustrations as in to say, what were you doing there? So yeah, maybe Danes feels that Thompson was a bit aggressive with his move. As a replay as well, as Flanagan tries to go up the inside of Kern, and yeah, it makes it stick. I think.
I think Kern has managed to come back though, and there he goes. So Kern resisting that attack. Those two having a very nice battle currently. Kern really is impressing out there, but just made a few too many mistakes. Haynes still leading this race. He's under increasing pressure though from Jamie Ayres just behind. With and down the inside goes Jamie Ayres. Could this be a change for the lead? Brilliant run round the outside though from Richard Haynes, and they're going to make contact. And where is Adam McNally? He's going to go through. So too is Thompson. Surely Ayres is going to lose a couple of positions after fighting for the race lead. And yeah, this battle for the lead is really living up to expectations.
Yeah, I seen it was a Chris. Yeah.
Oh, and Thompson's
spun.
He went for a very aggressive move into the final corner. I don't know why he had to go for that move, but it's a rare mistake in race car from Josh Thompson.
Yeah, this is the thing with Josh Thompson is as we look at the replay again. I'll look at the replay and see what happened before I was going to say. Oh, he just lunged up the inside of McNally and just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Vettel-esque spin there. That's the only real life situation I can compare to. The inside Joe making a bit of contact, and there was more contact. Is that McNally? Oh no,
Thompson's
contact for Thompson, and they've made massive contact there, and that could be the end of their days. That was Michael Blake with the spin. I don't know if we could go back to the boost of all of that, but Thompson, from looking like he was going to achieve the triple, he's down to 19th place, back where he started in this race 3.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to bring me on to my next point. As we look at the replay again to see what happened. Oh, McNally spun in the hairpin, I think, and then Michael Blake spun, and then Josh Thompson spun into Michael Blake. Oh, what is going on?
Quite incredible. Someone must have spilt some oil there down at Montreal. It's a difficult corner, no doubting that. They were pretty difficult as well. Getting back onto the circuit was Josh Thompson. And how has this race got away from him? I'm sure we'll get an interview with him later on. He must be absolutely livid in that car. But the delighted drivers out there will be the likes of Richard Haynes, Jamie Ayres, Chris Danes, and now Ferenc Kern is right in this one. from nowhere. Prince on that last lap was nearly a second faster than the race lead, and this battle between the top four, I don't know which way this is going to go right now, Ryan. This is absolutely superb because we've got the likes of Wood and Madsen also still in the mix, running in 4th and 8th respectively.
Yeah, it's been a good run. It's been a good run by Kieran at the moment. I mean, he's kept out of trouble so far, and he's being rewarded at the moment in the race with the P4 at the moment. But yeah, I was talking about Josh Thompson before it all kicked off. As Kieran gets sideways.
Oh dear, that's a bad curse, isn't it? Oh dear, you've
Ah,
moved
what am
on
I
to it
doing?
now, Ryan. Oh, and another driver ran. Was that McNally again? It was.
Oh,
Oh, he hates that corner, doesn't he? And I
yeah,
hope
he's,
that Thompson doesn't sprint in this. I think McKnight's just had enough, to be honest. He may have even retired from this race. Here it was. And I think he's just going to lose it on traction again.
oh yeah, he just lost it on the X and just lost the rear. Yeah, I was talking about Josh Thompson, but I'll get out of the way. So, yeah, Josh Thompson, he's quick enough, and he's probably, in my mind, he's probably one of the quickest people in iRacing. But he just seems to, I wouldn't say lacks racecraft, but he just seems to be too overly aggressive and goes for moves that just won't happen. And just as you've seen, like if you've seen a few laps ago, he just seems to make silly mistakes from time to time, which is, I think, in my opinion, he needs to work on.
Yeah, maybe can get a little bit over aggressive, can Josh, but most of the time, fantastic race car. But certainly that move he tried into the final corner into Mose was not on whatsoever. Well, at least it wasn't necessary because he was running in P3, remember, much faster than the drivers around him. And that's kind of started a bit of a chain reaction, which has ended up in being at the rear of the field right now. But still, out in the lead, Richard Haynes is hanging on against Chris Daines, who got past Jamie Ayres, I think, on that last hour. I don't think we saw that overtake, but all Daines will be caring about now is making that move on Richard Haynes because he's already up 16 positions. If he can get this one done nice and quickly before the lights of Chris Wood catch up onto the back, and you can see Chris Wood just behind in 4th place. If he can get this move done quickly, can Chris Daines, he might be able to run off into the distance and secure his, I think this would be his first race victory of the season.
Yeah, Chris Daines at the moment, he's just behind his teammate, Richard Haynes. So yeah, maybe they're talking on Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever, and maybe saying like maybe Chris is asking Richard if he can get by on the straight possibly, since he seems to be quick at the moment and not cost both of them time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these guys do, if they'll race each other or let one or the other go. Richard lets Chris go. So yeah, I think that was a sensible team decision.
Yeah, I think so. Now, can Jamie Ayres follow through? He's round the outside into that corner, and he's going to make it. Surely it's Jamie Ayres, as long as he doesn't take the curve. And that is a fantastic move from Jamie Ayres. And, well, Richard Haynes really needed to do his teammate a bit of a favour there by holding back Jamie Ayres. He has not done that. Ayres was so happy to go round the outside into this first one. He had the inside for the second one, and this race victory is still very much on for Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an epic move by Jamie. He just nailed it. And yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to hold it around the outside of Richard, but as we see Nick Madsen hit the wall, and yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down evening for Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I've raced alongside Nick before and usually doesn't make too many mistakes, but today in races 2 and 3, making a few, and they're getting very frustrated there was Nick, and there you go. His race is pretty much over. He does get a fast repair, of course, but not sure if he'll take back out to the circuit. The championship leader will still probably be the championship leader after this race. A little bit sideways there for Richard Hayes, who's trying to come back at Jamie Ayres now. But going into this hairpin at least, not quite close enough. Chris Wood now right onto the back of these guys.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Chris Wood is catching these guys really quickly, and yeah, I think if Chris can get by Richard and then maybe try and get by Jamie as well, it could be in as Josh Thompson spins again.
Wow. Well, this is rare that you see Josh Thompson spin 3 times in the space of 8 laps. And I think this is another mistake by himself. He's late on the
Oh,
brakes and
contact.
makes a bit of contact. I think Josh can really blame the other driver there. And round he goes, and he must just be
And he
fed
spins.
up.
Oh, there we go.
Again.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This is also something I've noticed with Josh as well. When he starts making mistakes, he seems to get very flustered, or he seems to get a bit frustrated and heated up. So, yeah, I think there's areas that Josh can improve on. I mean, there's no doubt he's quick. He's quick, but he just needs to work in some areas. Who's that? Yeah, getting sideways. That was I have no idea.
I think that was Cullinan just ahead. He was getting a bit sideways. Here comes Teddy Clark, though.
Oh, go
Down
on,
the
Teddy,
inside, they're
go
going
on.
to be side by side through Murray's. And Teddy Clark just behind Rafe Cullinan at the moment. And into the pits goes Lee Deemer. But side by side between Clark and Cullinan.
Teddy will be up the inside into turn 1. Can you hold it under brakes? Yes, he can. Go on, son.
Nicely done, although he's going to be under pressure into Montreal. Oh, maybe even going for an overtake
Max
behind.
right taking a look.
Oh, and Cullinan's all over the curb, and he's going to lose the position, surely, to Max Wright in the end. And there he goes, Wright, having a good day, had a good race 1, a decent race 2. And this race 3 going decent
Jim
as well.
Flanagan's on the
Flanagan
grass.
off the track once again.
Yeah, just looking to see what's going on through the field. There's not really, I can't really see much at the moment through the field. The only battle I can see at the moment is Flanagan goes off again.
Well, it seems like one mistake out here is many. Because once again, Jim Flanagan absolutely all over the place. And he must be getting very frustrated because if it weren't for all these mistakes, he'd actually be running in the top 8 at least, I think. But instead, he's dropped down into 11th position. Currently, Rafe Cullinan up 11 places from his starting position. A little bit of an uneventful day for him. But this race, they certainly redeeming him. Still, this battle for P2 going, P4 going on. Wood got past Haynes, and now Kern and McFadden are looking to do the same.
Haynes is in the pits.
There was a mistake from Chris Wood, and that could be a costly mistake for Wood. Because, that was Wood going through.
I'm not sure, that was Richard Haynes, I believe.
Yeah, so that was how Haynes lost the position. So a little bit frustrating for Haynes because, of course, he was leading. Or he has led the most laps of anyone out there today. But unfortunately, slipping back in the latter part of this race. Chris Wood really looking for a move on Jamie Ayres, and Ayres is wide, and Chris Wood moves up into second place, one of the fastest drivers out there today, and he's only 4 seconds behind Chris Danes, and now the battle of the Chris's can properly get resumed, and now Wood needs to try to break down that lead to Danes.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was Cullinan spins?
I thought that was Flanagan for a second there. I was like, oh, not again, Jim. But Cullinan, disappointing for him. I was just commending him how many positions he's gained. But I must say, Ryan, the amount of mistakes out there from drivers today, this car-track combination, clearly a massive challenge for the drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the mistakes I've been watching, and some of the mistakes I've seen in this race so far, it's just kind of some mistakes. It's just people just trying too hard, or who's that off the track? Kip Stevens on the grass. Get back on the track, Kip.
Again, another driver having a good run, and that slowdown has rather cost him a bit of time for Kip. Melcher just behind. Flanagan as well. Flanagan back up into the top 9 now. I don't know how he's done that. Is that going to be a move just behind? That was Anthony Jacobson. He had a fantastic race too, finishing in seventh place as Stevens comes into the pits, and we're seeing quite a few drivers now come into the pits at this point in the race run.
Yeah, I think some drivers are maybe trying to go as long as possible, or maybe some people are trying a different strategy, maybe trying to jump some people in the pit stops, or just try and get some clear track and not get stuck in traffic. So yeah, different strategies going on at the moment.
Currently, the leader of the drivers who have pitted is Lee Deemer. So watch out for Deemer at the end of this race. So he's not going to fight for a podium, I think, but a top 5 potentially for Deemer could be possible, although on that last lap he was 2 seconds slower than Chris Wood in second place. So clearly still not having it all his own way. Stuart McFadden is the man on the move there. He's the fastest driver out on circuit on that last lap. He was 2/10 faster than the race leader. He is 7 seconds behind though, so he's going to need to do something quite spectacular is McFadden. First up is Jamie Ayres, who's not going to be easy to make the move on whatsoever. And then he was 1.5 seconds faster though on that last lap. So if McFadden can get on with this, certainly a top 2 would still be very possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a podium finish for McFadden is not out of the question. I mean, he's slowly catching up to Jamie, who dives into the pits.
Oh, and a little bit of
Jamie
contact
hit
with
the
the
wall.
wall for Jamie. He won't care because he's got a fast repair, I think, to use as a check. No, they don't get a fast repair. Apologies. So, not for this race. I think they do get a fast repair for the previous races, but here it was. Very narrow pit lane, as Michael was saying earlier, and just got on the grass.
Oh, it's just a graze.
And he was fortunate, yeah, just to get away with the grace. And then across this very odd pit lane, you can see massive bumps. And you can damage the car a little bit on there. Ayres is back out. Is he ahead of Deemer? Yes, he is. So he's now the leader.
He's just out in front of Deemer.
Cars.
No, it's Roland Moon, sorry.
Yeah, he's quite a bit ahead of Deemer, I think. Yeah, apparently he's 20 seconds clear. I think it's a bit less than that. Maybe he is 20 seconds clear. Not quite sure. Yeah, he is. It's a big gap. Gosh. It was me saying that Lee Deemer could get a top 5. Maybe not going to be that way. Maybe a top 10 could still be possible for him. But Jamie Ayres out in 10th place and a little bit of free air as well. 3 seconds.
As Jamie goes wide at the hairpin. Not the hairpin. Yeah, well, it's like a hairpin. But anyway, ignore me.
I'd say it's a hairpin. I'll give you that. It's a painful corner to drive. They know anyone who's driven it. It's a really tough corner because, like Ryan says, it's a bit of a hairpin. It's a bit not of a hairpin. It's quite a flowing corner. Lee Deemer. Well, that's not going to help him.
Yeah, it looks like he just tried to get in the power and just applied too much throttle and just spun up the rear wheels. But yeah, nothing major. And Jesus, Lee. Lee got sideways through the fast left-hander there just before the back straight, and yeah, that was a bit heart and mouth. Yeah,
these drivers really do like pushing this Porsche car right to the limit of adhesion, especially the rear of the car. But you've got to be very smooth, especially around a circuit like this. It's all about getting the power down, getting good runs out to the corners. And Teddy Clark into the pits. Is anyone else going to be in the pits this time? Seemingly not. So a big, divide in strategy, I'd say, Ryan. A lot of drivers pitting as early as kind of lap 8 and others leaving it absolutely as long as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. With these races, you can try different strategies. As Roland Moons has a sneaky look up the inside of Jamie. That's the thing with these races. With the pit stops, you can try different strategies. You can try pitting early and maybe try and just get some clear air, or try and go on as long as possible. And which means you don't have to take as much fuel at the pit stop towards the end. So it's interesting to see the strategies that some people are using.
Yeah, definitely. And you would think if you're a fast driver, you want to be out on the circuit with as little fuel for as long as possible. So, of course, you stay out as long as you possibly can. But for these other drivers, maybe in the mid-pack, looking to get a bit of clear air, opportunity to see who it works out for later on. Of course, all these drivers, I remind you, all starting on the same amount of fuel. They cannot change their starting amount of fuel because this is a fixed setup series. And so, if drivers pit early, that means that they just want to get that pit stop done earlier on, and they will be burning a little bit more fuel in the mid part of the race. Basically, that doesn't matter right now. Wood is under pressure from McFadden, and will he be able to go for a move into turn 1? Stuart McFadden looking for second position. Is he going to find second position? He has found second position. He's up into second position, and that was far too many second positions pronounced by me.
Yeah, that was a good move by Stuart. He got a good run on the exit of the final corner, and yeah, managed to get a run on Chris and make the move into turn 1, and he made it stick. And yeah, second place was Stuart, so hopefully he might be able to catch up to Chris Daines and the challenge for the win.
On that last lap, he was nearly a second faster than Daines, so he's got the potential even at this point in the race. 10 minutes to go. He's got, what, 7 laps to get the gap down? Maybe even 8, well, yeah, probably not 8 laps, probably 7 laps to get the gap down. It's going to be tough. He's going to need a good pit stop, a little bit of help from the pit crew, I think. But it is still possible for Stuart McFadden. What a win it would be if he could pull it off.
Yep, just looking to see what's going on through the field, and yeah, it looks like we've got Richard Haynes, Jim Flanagan, and Lee Deemer fairly close together, battling for P10, P11, and P12. So, yeah, there's not really much going on through the field. Much going on through the field at the moment, I should say. But apart from this battle and the one up at the front.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to ignite a little bit once all the pit stops are complete. You can see how much McFadden is pushing out there. He's giving his absolute all. He's not going to pit until he absolutely has to. And yeah, I don't know if we could just go on board for a little bit with Stuart McFadden just to see his racing lines, how much he is pushing this car. And you can see almost trying to slide the car into each of these corners and using all the space available. You can see how narrow this circuit is and how slow this Montreal hairpin is. You really don't want to push those front tyres too much through there. You want to be nice and controlled, and after this it kind of does open up a little bit, these corners. This is a nice little flowing one. Early on the power once again, used all the track on the outside. On that last lap he was another 9/10 of a second faster than the race leader. He's just about doing enough at the moment, is Stuart McFadden. This could be tasty by the end of this race, Ryan.
Yep, as he gets a little drift on the exit of the corner there. Yeah, just looking at Stuart's pace at the moment, he's faster at the moment, and I think if he keeps his pace up at the moment, and he could surely catch Chris before the end of this race. But I think it all comes down to when Chris pits and when Stuart pits. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when they stop.
Already on this lap, 5/10 faster in the first sector for McFadden, 7/10 faster in the second sector. He's absolutely flying along. You can see this lap has been, from what I can see, about perfect. McFadden is driving absolutely superbly. He's got the bit between his teeth, and you can see how hard he's pushing. You can imagine Chris Daines a little bit reluctant to do that because he's out in the lead. He does not want to make a mistake at this point in the race. And you know what? Maybe he could even deploy an undercut or something, McFadden. But he's going to be onto the back of his well very soon.
Daines
Daines into the pit, and here comes McFadden as well. And so too is Chris Wood. So they're all coming into the pits. This is as far as the car can go on fuel. And
Kieran's
now
coming into the pits as well.
Crucial. So who's going to be first out of the pits? You can imagine it's going to be Chris Daines. He is already back away, and he is ahead of Stuart McFadden. He's also out of his pit stall. What is the gap going to be at the end of this? It was down to about 3 seconds. It is now 2 seconds, so another second gain for Stuart McFadden. You can see how close Chris Wood is as well. A fantastic pit stop for Wood, saving 1.5 seconds in comparison to Daines. Also, Wright is about in there, but he's still got to pit. With these top 3 closer than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a fantastic pit stop from Chris Wood, and he gained heaps of time in that pit stop. And I think if these 3 stay together for the remaining how much have we got left? 6 minutes, I believe. So yeah, the top 3 here could be this battle for the win could be absolutely fantastic to watch. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Yeah,
certainly races 1 and 2. Remember, 18 and 14 seconds the race victories for Josh Thompson this race, I think is more than making up for those comfortable victories, because this is going to go right down to the final lap, hopefully, amongst these drivers. Pretty much everyone's pitted, apart from Max Wright, who is a bit off the circuit now. I doubt that's fuel-related. Has he just run out of fuel? I don't think he has. He's just run wide, I think, instead. And there he goes.
Yep, just looks like he carried too much speed and spun round and that handed the place to Jamie Ayers. And yeah, as who's that? Ah, it's Richard Haynes that's on the grass. So not sure what happened to Richard, but yeah, he's lost a couple of positions, I believe. And yeah, here's a replay.
Yeah, off into Suffolk, I think there was Richard Haynes. And there you go, there's Ipswich. And yeah, Richard Haynes. I'm sorry, of course, by the way, the only reason why I know decent geography is because I do live in Norfolk. So that's the only reason why I know, you know, recent nearby counties. But yeah, he will just try to be going back on circuit and back in the county. Will Max Wright, but yeah, that was not a fantastic lap for him.
I'm just looking back up at the front, and McFadden is McFadden is slowly but surely closing the gap to Chris Danes, and I think we could be on for a battle for the win here in maybe a lap or two's time, as McFadden McFadden
Oh, that's
flashes
brilliant.
Oh god.
Oh, I'm gonna say that from now on, McFlashing. Oh, that's fantastic.
Sorry, Stuart.
Oh dear. Yeah, 1.2 seconds now. Full credit to McFadden. Oh no, he's off the circuit. I was just about to say he's right into the groove again, which can be difficult to do when you have a pit stop, because you suddenly, you know, have a drop of intensity. You suddenly start thinking about, you know, your driving, and really you just want to be driving off instinct. McFadden there. Well, that's could be a costly mistake, because it's lost him half a second. And was he a little bit too powerful on the throttle here? Yes,
Yeah.
you can just see the bumps. Did well to hang on to it though, and not lose too much time in the end.
That was one of those slides, or one of those moments I like to call, it was a time to empty your bellows moment.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll still have some left, Stuart McFadden. That was so close to a crash into the wall even. But yeah, he's let's compare lap times. Danes, what a lap that is. 48.29, his best lap of the race. That's just what the doctor had ordered. And Stuart McFadden a 48.83. So losing half a second. And you know what, even if McFadden hadn't made that mistake, he would have barely gained whatsoever. That is a perfect lap there from Chris Danes. And that might just be enough for the race victory, because we've got 3 more minutes to go. We'll have this one and another one. I'm not sure. I think it would just be this one and another one. I don't think we'll have another one after that.
Yeah, I believe I've got this lap and then the next lap to go, and then yeah, that so basically we've got 2 laps remaining, I believe. So yeah, I think yeah, looking at Denzi's pace at the moment, I think he's got the message that McFadden's slowly but surely catching him, and he just needs to keep whacking out low 48s to keep McFadden at bay, and he should hopefully hold on for the win.
Well, they've got 30 more seconds to get round. If they get round in 30 seconds, then they'll have 2 more laps, but I don't think they are going to. So I think next lap is going to be the white flag. And Chris Danes, well, I did say that mistake from McFadden could be costly. He's still closing in. He's not giving up. He's nearly within a second now of the race lead, but it could be the decisive factor, because they are going to move on to the final lap. The gap, 1.03 seconds as I look at it right now. And on this lap, I think he's gained about 0.8 of a second, has Stuart McFadden, but he needs absolutely everything he can get. Chris Wood is too far behind, seemingly. And you can see McFadden will try to get as much slipstream as he possibly can on that last lap. He was 0.8 of a second faster, but he's going to need more than that. That mistake, I say it again, Ryan, I think that may just have cost him half a chance at an overtake.
Yeah, that sideways moment from McFadden heading onto the back straight. I think it blew his chance of possibly winning this race. So, yeah, and that, the mistake from McFadden as well, it's possibly giving Chris Daines a chance to win this race as McFadden, I got his name right this time, flashes the lights again.
Yes, a more McFlashing there. And down to 0.6 of a second. So is it helping him? Is it helping him enough? He's getting closer and
Closing up
closer. This is
slowly.
going to be so close by the end of this race. And a little bit wide there from Chris Daines. He's lost a lot of momentum. And all of a sudden,
Come on,
this
Chris,
one is
defend,
back
defend.
on. And Stuart McFadden right into the slipstream of the Project 4 racing car. And this is going to go down to the last
Chris,
half
defend
lap
inside,
of
Chris,
this
defend
race.
inside.
He's trying to defend, but maybe the outside line is going to be better for Stuart McFadden. He goes to the outside. Can he muscle his way round here for
Come on,
the
Chris.
race lead potentially? He's going to go for it down the inside. He's not going to
Oh,
make
he's
it.
wide.
Daines is very wide though, and McFadden will look to the inside. Into bomb hole they go, and there's
Oh,
still side by side.
contact.
There's contact between the two,
Oh,
there,
the
and they're
spun.
both wide. And Chris Wood is going to go through to take the race lead with just a couple of corners to go. What an incredible end to this race 3 of the evening. Chris Wood will round the final corner now. Well, it didn't look like he was going to take that race victory. I wrote him off with a lap to go. But Chris Wood is going to take race 3 here at Snetterton in a quite incredible finish.
Yeah, that was a fantastic finish. I thought McFadden was going to go up the inside and have it there for a minute, but absolutely, Chris Daines and Stuart McFadden just got caught up with each other and just basically cost each other the possible chance of winning this race, and they both made contact and both spun out, and Chris Wood was just hanging back there and was there to pick up the pieces and said, "Thank you guys, I'll have that. Thanks very much."
Absolute tune for Chris Wood. There they went, synchronized spinning. Chris Daines on the outside, Stuart McFadden on the inside. No doubt they'll have a discussion, they already are. Stuart McFadden, Chris, give space, man. But Chris Wood will not care one bit about that. And here is your birthday and Christmas all at once. And straight through the middle he went. He just had to be careful not to make contact. In the end, did very well, the Chris Wood. And, well, he fully deserved that race victory, but did come to his way a little bit, fortunately. We can't forget about everything else that was going on down the field in the end. It was, quite an incredible race. So these guys have completed their race now. Just a replay of Kip Stevens having a little bit of an instant. Still a few drivers crossing the line, but yeah, what an incredible end to that race. And it has ended up Chris Wood, the race winner. Gosh, what a final lap.
Yeah,
Stuart McFadden in second position, 3 seconds behind in the end. But yeah, the gap doesn't really tell you anything. Chris Daines, well, he will be absolutely furious with that in third place from 18th on the grid. Led quite a bit of this race. Brent Kern, what a performance. 4th place, he was only 9 seconds off the lead in the end. If it weren't for a mistake earlier on in the race, he could have been right in that fight for the race win. But still, very impressive from Florence. With Jamie Ayres finishing in 5th, he'll be a little bit frustrated with that. 36 seconds off the lead was Dennis Melcher, but he did very well to just quietly go through the field. Jim Flanagan finishes in 7th place with Lee Deemer in 8th. Then was Max Wright in 9th and Ronald Mains banding out the top 10. Behind that was David White, Teddy Clark, Kip Stevens, Rick Cullinan, Anthony Jacobson in 15th. Richard Haynes, after starting in pole position, finishes in 16th with Steve Hebbert in 17th. And then 12 laps down was Josh Thompson, picked up suspension damage early on, and that really affected him later on, and in the end could not continue. Michael Blake in 19th. Nick Madsen, he had a bit of a horse show in that third race. He ends up in 20th with Adam McNally, Lee Woodburn, and Ronald Manny-Utrecht rounding out the 23 cars. Wow, still trying to get our breaths back after that incredible final lap. We have got Josh Thompson to talk to. And Josh, well, we're going to focus on the positives. Race 1 and 2, absolutely dominant. I think 14 and 18 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Well done.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, really. As you can hear, I'm absolutely full of flu and stuff like that. So, those 2 races, it's just been a challenge just to even drive tonight, to be honest. So, those 2 races, can't really complain with how they went. Went a lot smoother than I thought.
yeah, in that race 2 and 3, crazy starts. You just seem to get through it though, every single time. Do you think there's a certain amount of skill, and would you say that you were, deploying a tactic that others weren't, that really helped you through those moments?
It was just the same thing really in both starts. Just no one, basically with the Porsche with this cold weather, and I've said that to the admins to change. The Porsche on the first lap, there is no steering; it just understeers because it's just not got, because it hasn't got tyre warmers and stuff like that. So everyone goes into turn 1, and most incidents happen on the outside, then spin across to the inside because from where people have understeered. So both my races, the reverse grids, I just placed the car in the middle of the track, backed off. Every time I saw a crash happen, I literally, if you watch any of my onboard, I just stopped, and I'd gain like 8 places. And then there'll be people who've got damage who carry on, then go into the hairpin and try and make a move back up the inside and miss the corner because of cold tyres. So it's a bit of luck because obviously I could be one who gets caught up in it, but there's also a bit of skill because obviously I knew what to do each time.
Yeah, and of course, the McLaren Shadow is currently, or was going on earlier on. Are you not taking part in that, in the MP4-30? MP4-12C. We know that you weren't a big fan of that car beforehand.
No, because what happened was after the F1 stuff, the gap between me and Marcus Jensen was too big, and the strength of fields aren't big enough. As you can see, there's no one doing it. So no matter if I won the races and Marcus just finished, I wouldn't have overturned the point gap. So there was no point really of doing it. So just gave up on it after the F1 really.
Yeah, at least we get to see you in this season. Are you planning on doing the whole season, or just the individual races where you're not busy on Sunday evenings?
No, I'm planning to do the whole season. Obviously, I'm with Simmortal and stuff like that, so they sponsor Radicals and asked me to do it with them for the season. So, yeah, I'll be doing it. Just a shame, really, because I was 1 win away from breaking the BSR win streak record held by Van Loosenall last year, which is a shame, really. But, I probably could have still finished top 5 in that race, but with the contact with Max, it broke the rear suspension, just turned in and nothing happened, which is a bit of a shame, really. So, but nah. 5 wins in a row for the team after missing the first round, and to be, I think, like 7th in the championship now. Can't really complain, and hopefully can still aim for the championship overall.
Yeah, I'd say the triple was possible, but still a double is very impressive.
Yeah.
I think he probably scored more points than anyone else today, so still a very successful day for you. And yeah, before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, so you guys for the broadcasting, it was great as always. Also, Simmortal, Michael down there, thank you for those guys for getting me a drive, and sorry to write him off when I spun and rejoined him on the grass, which was quite amusing in the Discord channel. And Radicals as well,
amusing
really.
for us.
It wasn't for me at the time. I just sat there laughing, and Michael was like, "Can you move, please?" So yeah, but everyone at Radicals really, because been quite busy and yeah, just helping me really.
Thanks, Josh. We will
Thank you.
see you Tuesday.
Monday,
Yes.
tomorrow, World GT, which I'm not looking forward to because I feel absolutely dreadful. So,
Well, if you
But
drive
that
as
should be
well as
it.
you did today, I'm sure you're going to have a good chance tomorrow.
Hopefully, I've got nothing to lose. So,
Yeah, good luck for that, Josh, and
thank
we'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
We also have Stuart McFadden, and Stuart, you must be a little bit annoyed. Well, I say a little bit annoyed, really annoyed with that final race. But in the end, it was a superb drive from 17th on the grid after quite a difficult start as well.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed with that one. Not really much else I could do in that last lap, apart from going on the grass, and then yeah, I don't know what happened there. But I'm not gonna. Obviously, these things happen. I just kind of gloss over that and look to the next race and see how I can improve from situations. Move on to the next one. But yeah, apart from the start, but I actually got a really good initial launch. Pulled away from Josh and Chris behind me, and I got caught up with a couple of cars. I'm not sure who hit behind me. But I think whoever it was apologised in Discord. Literally just there, the message just came up. So yeah, whoever that is, it's no problem at all. These things happen. It's a difficult car, tyres. So yeah, I just kind of assessed my damage, see I had any damage. Kind of realised very quickly that I didn't actually have any damage at all. So I was like, cool. We'll knock her down and we'll make our way up the pack. Keep looking after the tyres because I knew the last 6 minutes of the race was going to be really important, and it really was. And it really proved that I can actually like save tyres, which I'm not my best at. But I've been working a lot on it, so it's kind of glad for myself that I've took the time and took the time to practice and really understand how I can save the tyres in this car and still be quick. So I'm quite pleased with. I'm disappointed that I didn't get the win after like qualifying lap after qualifying lap after qualifying lap. In that race just to try and catch Chris, and then but yeah, I'm not going to say anything on because I'd be unprofessional.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's certainly nothing you did wrong. And thanks for giving us such a enthralling finish to that race. But overall, I think that's a third and 2 seconds. 2/3 and a second for you, I think, today. So, yeah, overall, a really good day for you.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been better. I made a couple of mistakes. I'm thinking, race 1, I had a little bit of kick oversteer and Vic managed to get past, so I was just really disappointed in myself there. But I knew I'd start ahead of them coming into the second race, and then that didn't work out too well either. Josh was on point tonight, as he is always. The kid is just, well, I'm saying the kid, he's older than me, but the guy is just absolutely on rails in this car. Like, honestly, when you watch him in practice, and he's like, how can you take that speed to that corner? And it's kind of, obviously he's in the CQR team as well. I know he's in Simmortal for this league, but because he was with CQR with the WGTC stuff, it is good to kind of have someone like that to kind of benchmark against and improve against.
Yeah, definitely. And it must be quite good in a fixed series setup. You know that it's purely down to the driving. And I guess that kind of focuses the mind that you know that you need to get, faster to make up that gap. And it kind of shows how, even though it seems impossible, that extra time it is possible because, someone else is doing it in the same machinery.
Yeah, exactly. That's what really I love fix setup races, because it shows the drivers that need a setup, and it shows the drivers that can actually drive. Yeah, well, to be fair, Josh with a bad setup and Josh with a good setup, you don't really get much in between. But I mean, I love the fix setups. I don't know what it is. I loved the Kia World Series. I done decent in that, and then I'm showing in this that I can fit up with the top guys, which I'm really pleased with the equipment that I've got.
Yeah, you should be very pleased with yourself. A really good day in the office. And before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Just you guys for the broadcast. It was really good. It was good to watch in between the races. Exciting commentators. Always thrilling up the action. And just I don't really have anybody to thank apart from that. I'm not really in a team. I'm just a privateer. So thanks to myself.
Well, thanks, Stuart, and thanks for your kind words. We will certainly give you preference next week when I will see you again.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Anytime you need an interview, I'm always here.
Also got Ferenc Kern. I think that'll be our last interview. And Ferenc, really well done out there. 4th position in that final race. I think that's your best result in this series. So well done.
Thank you. I think last race I was on 3rd. But compared to it that I know Montreal and I never drove Snetterton before, I think it's the best result.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did you find Snetterton? We saw a lot of drivers struggle out there. Did you find it a really difficult circuit?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. For me, it was like I said, tonight's free practice before race number 1 will determine if I race or not. Because in practice I wasn't able to do more than 5 clean laps, and then I crashed. And for me, it's something like if I'm not comfortable in driving clean and safe, I won't join a race because I don't want to harm others. Yes, unfortunately, it happened. this time in race 2 where I missed my braking.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of contact amongst drivers up there. Everyone seemed quite aggressive out there today, and everyone seemed a little bit on edge in terms of driving their car. Do you think some drivers are still just getting used to, driving this car because it's difficult to get used to?
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know how long the others drive the car. I know for me it isn't that long, and I have to get used to it. And especially now in Snetterton, I felt there were many corners where you have to break into the corner just to find, and you have to find out over brake bias and everything how you can get into it safely, but of course quickly as well. So I think that was a problem because there were so many braking zones where you really have to pay attention to do it correctly. And yeah, but you want to overtake somebody, so you have to take some risk. And I think there were many incidents happening. This is the first race lap 1 incident where it took two corners for me the race, and it was ended. So yeah, it was tough for everybody, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you hoping to do the entire season and looking maybe to qualify for the showdown?
My plan is to do the whole season because when I sign up, then I want to do it. If I qualify or not at the moment, let's say it's not that I don't care, but I don't want to do any predictions because I have no idea how the other races will go. I saw it last week. It was quite good because I finished every race, even with a carnage in second race where I went from P30 to P14. Now race 1 was a 2-corner race for me. Second one was okay with a mistake from me where I hit Jamie. Sorry again for that. And the third was again very good with finishing P4. So it's not predictable what's going to happen. But if I qualify, I will do everything that comes up in the series.
Yeah, definitely. We wish you the best of luck. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I thank our sponsors. SDK Gaming, Computers, Leo Botner, and JCL. And I thank also you for the broadcast and the guys for some great racing.
Thanks, friends, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
So I think it's pretty much time to wrap up the show, Ryan. That final race in particular was quite incredible. You really didn't know who was going to win until, well, the final couple of corners, did you? Yeah, what a fantastic battle the likes of Wood, McFadden, and Danes put on for us.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole evening was just fantastic. Fantastic to watch, and there was battles in every race throughout the field. And yeah, that especially race 3 for me in the closing stages was just absolutely fantastic to watch. And the battle for the one between Chris Woods, McFadden, and Danes, I think it was just awesome to watch. And yeah, it just provided great drama in the last lap as well. And just it just proves that this series is providing great races so far, and it's so difficult to predict a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Another fantastic day in the BSR Porsche Simmortal Cup. We'll be back next week with the series. I don't really know what circuit it is, but I'm sure it will be good because so far the series has certainly delivered to us. We've also got World GT. I think that's maybe like the third to final round. I think we haven't got many rounds to go, I think. And then Tuesday, the BSR MX5s. Wednesday, the iRacing Le Mans series. Thursday, the BSR TC Pro Series. And yeah, next Saturday as well, I've also got the Apex Racing UK team stream for the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. But for now, from me, from Ryan, and from Marco, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time.